life, and I appreciate that so much, and your support and emails and texts and calls and the lemon pies that I'm still waiting on. But thank you so much for your concerns there. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do lemon pies. I appreciate that. It's been a great time of some reflection and healing, and just reaffirming and weeding those things out that just don't need to be a part of my life. And I've discovered life is not all good. You know, it's just not. It's just not all good. And sometimes the meshing of my faith and my life and God's promises with life's hardships and difficulties and rejections and disappointments in life. And somewhere as a Christian, an example, there should be faith in the promises of God. And how do we handle these things? And sometimes they're out of our control, right? Just how do we handle this? And so in this process, at one point, I just kind of start thinking this saying, well, it is what it is. In fact, look here, I have a coffee mug in my house. I drank out of it this morning. Can y'all read that back there? Okay. It says, what? Say it with me. It is what it is. It is what it is. And you know what? We can say that, and sometimes we just have to embrace that, though. We just have to drink from this cup. It is what it is. Let me tell you, that's not enough for me. I drink from this cup, and I look at this and say, it is what it is, but Lord, you're greater than the is stuff. Lord, I need to hear from you about what this is stuff is going on in my life. And so, yeah, it is what it is, but could there be something more? And so I come to you today just kind of sharing some things that God's been speaking to me, and how I really think if whatever I go through, you'll probably go through it in different ways, in different forms, Matt. But we're all being one family here, right? We all go through this, and so I've just really been honest with you from day one. So why not continue to do that? I'm not going to share everything with you because it's none of your business, but some of it is. And so here's what I've come up with. You ready? It is what it is, but I need a but here. All right? I need something more than that. I know Joe raised his hand if I said I need a but. But anyway, that's how it's right there. It is what it is, but here's the rest of what I want to share with you, what I think is true. Throw it up there, Joe. But it's not what it feels like, and it's not what it looks like. It is what it is, but it's not what it feels like, and it's not what it looks like. So we're going to be looking at faith today, and we're going to look at how this thing works in our life, because we all struggle with faith, we all want to grow in faith. Things happen in life, and we know that God is at work, and if we know that God is at work, and yet we have this stuff going on, we can't deny this stuff that's going on. It is what it is. We don't want to deny it, but how do we embrace that into our lives, into our hearts? But also we understand that we have feelings about this, right? So how do we deal with this faith and feelings and faith and feelings and feelings and faith and faith? And how do we deal with this? And so I want to teach you a little bit this morning, but I also just want to share things that are in my heart. And here's what it is. The Bible says that faith is the what? Substance of things hoped for, but it's the what? Evidence of those things we don't see. So there it is. There's really the title of the message right there. It is what it is. There's things happen in our life, but my feelings must not dictate over my faith. Faith. There it is. So that's what we're going to be looking at. So get your Bibles to Romans chapter 4. Romans chapter 4. I want to show you something there. Romans chapter 4. You there yet? Yep. Don't depend on the screen, but go ahead and turn on. I want to hear some turning over in your Bibles. So, turn over. Alright. Let me read from NIV. It's kind of like what it says. A couple of things that we'll see. Alright. Hey, I got good news. I went to my eye doctor the other day and they said my eyes are getting better. Can you believe that? I don't know. So if y'all go sleep in the back, I'm going to see you now. Against all hope. Say that first line with me. Against all hope. That's not encouraging words, is it? That's not encouraging words. Against all hope. You ever been there before? Anybody in this room? You know? Have you been up against that? There's no hope in this situation. There's nothing there. And so what do? There's several things I'm going to identify what we do sometimes that's not healthy. And we say it's by faith, but it's just really not a healthy way to do it. But notice the very statement about the father of Israel, and we're talking about Abraham. Abraham! You know, the hero of faith, Hebrews chapter 11, he's in that book, a hero of faith. And notice what it says here, against all hope. There's nothing more than being in a hopeless situation. Nothing, absolutely nothing worse. No hope. No hope. The doctor says, leukemia. Oh, how do we handle this, church? I promise you, most of us have been through it, and guess what? It ain't over yet, right? How do we deal with this against it? It is what it is. It's life. How do we do it? Let's notice what it says here. Against all hope, Abraham, in hope, believed, and so became the father of many nations. Hang on, we'll come back to the end of that. Just as it had been said to him, so shall your offspring, your seeds, be also. Without weakening in his faith. Say that with me. Without weakening in his faith. How many of you want to get strong today? To be strong? Yeah. Without weakening in his faith, he faced the fact that his body was as good as dead. He's 100 years old. You're going to be a father, Abraham. Say what? Anybody want to work for the Lord like that? No. It is enough for me, okay? It really is. Anyway, okay. Without weakening his faith, he faced, where am I? Okay, so without weakening in his faith, he faced the fact that his body was as good as dead, since he was about 100 years old. And that Sarah's wound, what? It's over with. So dead. She's old. So how old is Sarah at this point? 90 years old. Yet, say the word yet. Yes. He did not waver through belief regarding the promises of God. Notice what he did say. You know, I think I want some more kids. He didn't say that. God gave him the promise. He's standing on the promises of God. Amen? Remember that song? Standing on the promises. Yeah, that's what we're standing right there. So it's not like he's creating this. It's not name it, claim it. But God has spoken this to him, and he's going to stand on the promises of God. Amen? And that's what he's doing right here. He's standing on the promises of God. He believed without wavering, and he stood his ground. He's got some feelings here. He's old. Really. All right. But, there's that but. He was strengthened in his faith and gave glory to God. Being fully persuaded, I love that part, being fully persuaded. Being fully persuaded that God had the power to do what He, what? God's able to do that. Amen? How many need a word like that today? That God's going to do what He says He's going to do. He's going to be faithful to do that. And yet, how do we respond to something like that? Let me kind of give you a little history, because I love to tell you what's going on in the midst of this. In the midst of it, we jumped into Romans chapter 4, but let me tell you a little bit what's been going on here. We're right in the middle of an argument. And Paul is in this argument with these Judaizers, these Jews, and these new believers, these Gentiles. And these Jews are saying, hey, you know what, you Gentiles, y'all need to be like us. And you need to be circumcised. Because circumcision is the outward evidence of God's righteousness, so you need to be circumcised. You need to be like that. And Paul comes along and he says, it's not this outwardness, but it's something that happens inside. And so he begins this argument with these Judaizers, to these new converts to the faith of the Gentiles. And he said, quit asking them to do that, because it's not this circumcision of your flesh, but it's circumcision of the Spirit of God, and it comes through faith. So Paul begins to give this exhortation. It's called justification by circumcision. No, justification by faith. So it wasn't Martin Luther that penned those words and put it on the Catholic Church, but it was Paul, the first one that put it to pen on paper. And it's right here, this justification by faith. We are saved through faith, by grace, because of the mighty work of Jesus Christ on Calvary. Amen? So it's through faith that we trust Him. It's not of works. Works is a byproduct of my faith when I trust Him in grace and mercy of God, and that my work is a byproduct of my faith. But faith is that thing that pleases God, as was prayed earlier, but it's also faith that initiates through the work of Christ Jesus my salvation. Amen? So Paul, we jump into this argument right now, and we see this, and so then, as an example to those Judaizers, those Jews, he brings up Abraham. Who is Abraham? He is the father of Israel, right? Are you with me now? So he's the father. So when Paul uses Abraham as an example, it gets the attention of the Jews because they looked up Abraham. So now he's going to teach us something about life. And so we kind of jump into this argument type thing that's going on here. And it's kind of cool. And so you can kind of glance at chapter 4, verses 1 through 3, and we see Abraham, he's building him up, and it finally says Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. So circumcision is righteousness, but the faith of Abraham that brought him into righteousness, just as you're called a child of righteousness, is because your faith in Christ and not of works. Amen? Okay. That too much for you? Let me ask you a question. How many of y'all read fictional books? Not very many. I've got a book that's been for months sitting on right next to my bedside. It's a Christian fictional. It's a fictional book. I'm amazed that, one day I'm going to write a book, and y'all are going to be in it. And so, with names. And I just couldn't write a fictional book. Think about it. Somebody that writes a fictional book, they create characters, right? They make up people, right? They make up people, situations, and circumstances, and events, and time, and they give characteristic and personality to all these people in these fictional books. And as the author narrates that book, he's got a purpose here. Normally, good fictional books have a purpose. The one I'm reading has a purpose here. It's about the end times and God's promises here in this fictional book. And so the purpose is for this author to narrate to me is to get me to respond and to kind of feel in this fictional book some of the feelings that this author is narrating to me. You understand what I'm saying there? And so the purpose of that is he creates all these things, and they're not real people or real circumstances, but he's trying to get me to feel something, to maybe change my perspective of something, to maybe move me to think about something other than the confines of my walls, and that's what a fictional book tries to do that. Right? So we have this sometimes problem in us. Let's talk about some flesh stuff. We have this internal narrator. In other words, there's something within all of us, by our experiences, by our upbringing, by our thoughts, by the way situations happen in our life, that kind of control the way that we look at life. It narrates the way that I feel about something. And it may be true and it may not be true. But those are my feelings. You understand what I'm saying? And so we have this internal narrator that's always saying, do you really want to feel that way? Or it may be a good thing. Well, you've done that before. You've preached before, so you ought to have confidence in that. I've done a funeral. I've done hundreds of funerals, and I'm going to do one in a few minutes. So I'll have confidence. I'm going in there with that. But then there are things that bring fear on. Man, do you really want to do that? Last time you did that, you got burned, and so you better leave that alone. Run from it, run from it, run from it, right? So we run from these things, this internal narrator that just kind of says, are you sure about this? And it may be true, and it may not be true. Those are our feelings. Those are my feelings, and I take ownership of those feelings. But yet, listen to me, church, listen to this. We may be misled by those internal narrations in our lives, by past hurts and experiences and disappointments. Do y'all hear this? Yes. Look at it. Do y'all hear this? Yes. Okay. Here's the question. Check this out. Is your life narrated by your feelings? Or is your life narrated by faith? Let me tell you right now, I'll give you the first point. The only way that you're going to deal with what I'm saying is you're going to be authentic and honest right now. That's the beginning of faith. Right now, being honest. Are you going to be honest this morning? Most of the decisions and your feelings and you're running away from or you're running to, whatever you're dealing with in your life, are you allowing this internal narrator to determine the things of your life by your feelings, or they by faith? You have to answer this one. Now here's what I'll tell you the good news. The good news is simply this. I'm trying to tell you, as a follower of Jesus Christ, you have a new narrator in your life. It's called the Holy Spirit and the Word of God. Amen? That is our new narrator, and we don't have to live in fear or live by our feelings or live by circumstances, because the promise of God lives in us. But a lot of times our feelings just kind of overshadow that, and we just use our feelings because it just doesn't feel good, or it's going to hurt, or it pulls us out of ourselves. And so many times we're guided by our feelings and not by faith. So let me ask this question one more time and I'll move on. Is your life narrated by your feelings or by faith? Be honest. What is it? What determines your decisions on Monday morning? Now some of you say, well, I got to come to church today. I didn't feel like coming to church, but I got dressed up today, and surely that's right? Good for you. So did I. I'm talking about Monday morning stuff. What determines your direction on Monday morning and Tuesday morning? Or when the doctor tells you some bad news in your life, what determines that then? You got a mad rush of feelings there. And that's the plot line that we have in Romans chapter 4. Abraham is dealing with some serious stuff. He's 100 years old. He's going to be a dad. It doesn't get any more serious than that. And here's the other. He's going to have to produce this. And there's no blue pills. We'll get back on the subject here. Get back here. All right? You kind of hear this? I'm turning red right now. So Abraham, we jump right in the middle of this thing, and Abraham, feelings against all hope. It looks like, it feels like, it smells like, no hope here. And how he would jump right in the middle of Abraham's life. And what is he going to do about this? Is he going to operate by faith, or is he going to operate by feelings? Right? Now, let me stop right there. So often we take these heroes of faith and we kind of lift them up and say, oh man, I wish I was like Abraham, man. He was solid. He did that. And we know the rest of the story, right? Right? We just read the rest of the story. What? You know, him and Sarah got together and they had kids, and we're the seeds of that. So we know the rest of the story, right? You don't know the rest of the story in your life that's going on right now, right? And yet we're right in the middle of it. So take it as it is now. Sometimes we lift up these heroes of faith and say, oh man, boy, man, he was solid all the way, all the way. I wish I was more like him because I'm just a screw up. I don't have faith. I wish I had this great faith. But we need to take Abraham where he really was. And so in Genesis chapter 12, Abraham shows up at Pharaoh. There's a drought going on. And shows up and says, Sarah, you are a knockout. We're going to have problems with that. No. I don't hurt your feelings. I ain't with you, Sarah. But they're going to find out we're married, and they're going to take you. They're going to kill me and take you. And so why don't we do this? Why don't you pretend to be my sister? We'll just go with this so that I can live, right? Great man of faith. You think you learned a lesson? Pharaoh finds out that he said, God started messing with Pharaoh. I love this. God started messing with Pharaoh and said, don't do it. And he comes and says, man, you lied to me, Abraham, great man of faith, listed in the Bible, both in Hebrews 11 and Romans 4. You lied to me. Great men of faith don't lie, do they? Then we find out, and that's Genesis chapter 12. Then Genesis chapter 15, God shows up and says, by the way, you're going to be the father of many nations. He goes, I don't have any children. He said, look up at the stars. See all the stars? You can't count them all. And that's going to be your seed. That's going to be your heritage. You're going to be the father of great many nations. And we're a product of today of that seed. Sounds good? Faith restored. He goes right into the next chapter and says, man, I don't have any children. Sarah comes and says, well, why don't you sleep with Hagar? And we'll start this process. And so Abraham, being a great man of faith, what? He bypasses God's purpose and he starts on his own. He has sex with Hagar. They have a child of Ishmael. God still blesses that, but still. So I want to kind of point this out. Because in Romans, right here, we just read this. I didn't see all these screw-ups here. Did anybody see the screw-ups of Abraham in this? No's the answer. No? What happened? Why don't we see all the way? Abraham, even though he blew it against all hope, he finally came through, so we win this one. What happened? So I asked this question. Why? Here's what I think. See, God's got a different perspective. Yes. His perspective is called, say this word, grace. Grace and mercy. He holds up Abraham twice in here in this New Testament. He holds him up because God's got a new perspective about Abraham, and he sees Abraham who he really is. It's a new perspective. It's called grace and mercy. Now let me say this. It's not as if it didn't happen. Right? We know Abraham and we know this, and God knows what he did and he didn't do. And so it's not as if it didn't happen, but in spite of this, God's perspective is when he looks at Abraham, he looks with him with grace and mercy. Here's what I wrote. Romans 4 is narrated by God's going to narrate. Hear that word, narrated. So he's narrating over our lives in us today. Narrated by God's grace and mercy, he sees Abraham's faith from this perspective of grace and mercy. Hey, listen, look up there. This is real quick. If you don't get anything else, get this. If you are a follower of Jesus Christ, giving your life to him, you're under God's grace, and God sees you from a different perspective than what you see yourself. And that is good. I don't care who you are in this room and what you've done in this room. That is good news, isn't it? Amen. That is so good that God, when he looks at you, he says, you are my seed of righteousness. You are my child of righteousness. You are that. I know your doubts and I know your fears, but I'm going to rejoice in when you trust me and when you put your faith in me. And I want you to see yourself this morning from God's perspective, because a lot of times, we just receive this condemnation. You're just I struggle with that. Every Sunday morning, I look in the mirror and I go, are you kidding me? I'm going to do this. How can I do this? Just all stuff in my life. It really is right now. Just a lot of stuff in my life. I go, how can I do this? And some of you may say, well, you must be ignoring all this. Yeah. No, I don't. I got a coffee cup. I don't want to just live my life. Just, what if? Do you? I want Christ to be more than grace. So I want to deal with this. And this is why I'm going to take you on this journey for a couple of Sundays. There's no way I'm going to preach all of this because I'm just so full of it. Look at it. This is important here because I don't want to just slide over this very carefully, because God sees you from a different perspective. And if you're under grace, you're under grace, right? Okay, he sees you through the blood of Jesus Christ, the sacrifice here. See, it cost God everything so he could see you as everything. Well, somebody write that down. I just made that up, okay? It cost him everything so that he could see you as everything. And that's why he sees you. But let me tell you right now, listen. He sees what you've done. He knows your past. He knows your messes. He knows your screw-ups. He knows your rebellion. He knows you have a past. He knows you have failures, messes, and weakness. He knows that, but he still sees you different. So we have this tension between a faith in our lives. Let me show you something here. I want to show you this how this works out in our lives. All right? Here's some of the tension. And so, A lot of times, attention to faith, we live in denial, right? And that's not a river in Egypt, okay? Denial, no, it's not. That's funny right there, yeah. It's denial. It's just something, well, I just, this is happening in my life. I don't deal with it anymore, and I don't handle it anymore. Every time that thought comes up, we just kind of put it a base to us and submerge it and try to hide it and try to cover it over. And we ignore it. We begin to blame people, don't we? This is a way we deny too. Well, that sorry dog just did this to me, and I feel this way. I have every right to feel this way. So we blame people, right? Yeah. We ignore it, and we just kind of explain it away, and sometimes we begin to run away. It's a form of denial, isn't it? We're just going to run away from it. We change our situation. We go back to the way I used to live. It was a lot easier. I'm just going to go back. I'm going to go back. It's a lot easier. That's a form of denial, isn't it? Right. In fact, explain this a little bit more. And then we use this, let me say, a perverse form of faith as denial. You have a bunch of bills on your table. You go, man, I've got a lot of bills on. How am I going to pay all this? Well, I know what I'm not going to answer the phone anymore because all the bill collectors are calling me. Or I'm going to play the lottery because God's going to bless me and He's going to let me win the lottery and I'm going to pay for this. And so I'm going to just live in denial because I've got all these bills paid up. Maybe you're here this morning, well, I don't have any friends in my life. I guess here comes the perversity of the faith for Christians sometimes in denial. Well, I guess God is just taking me through this lonely time in my life, and He's now allowing me to have friends, and so God's causing all this to happen, so that's denial. Right? Am I hitting anybody? So the other tension of this faith thing is despair. And that's where we find Abraham in that sentence, against all hope. Where we just throw our hands and go, can't do it. It's hopeless. I give up. There's no hope for me. There's no way that I can ever do this. And so with the bills paid, we just ignore them, and we just say, well, somebody else will have to take care of it. I'm not going to. Or friends, we just kind of, we shut our door. After we get home from church, we shut the door. We don't see anybody all week long. We come to church, we smile, and yet we just really don't like people. You begin to isolate yourself, and that's very dangerous when you isolate yourself. That's only a church. You don't need to isolate yourself. So then in Romans here, we see what faith is and what faith is. Let me show you this verse here. Check this out. It says here, without weakening in his faith, what does it say in the next line? He what? He faced the fact. He faced the fact. It is what it is. And it's not all good. But it is what it is. Can I tell you something here? Facing your weaknesses and facing problems is not a sign of your weakness in your spiritual life. Do you know that? No, Gary, I didn't know that. No, listen to me. Sometimes, especially preachers, I'll just put me on this bucket. I don't want y'all to know some of my stuff going on, my weaknesses. In fact, in seminary, they said, don't tell personal stories because you show weaknesses, and people will jump on those weaknesses, and it may bite you in the butt. It's true. Shame on that. So I just thought, I'll throw it out there. Prideful, that's me. Kind of, I want y'all to see some of my stuff sometimes. It's me. But let me tell you, the truth about this is that when we show the things that we're struggling with, how are you going to pray for me? How am I going to pray for you, right? It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength because the Bible says, when I am weak, there it is. We don't believe that scripture verse. We want Him being strong. But, let me tell you what I went through. Not what I'm going through, right? Right? That looks better on our credentials, right? So after I go through that, let me tell you what I went through by myself and in my mind. It took me 4 years to go through this thing. If I'd shared it with y'all, it would have been about 2 weeks ago. We just do that sometimes. So here's what we have in Romans 4. It is what it is. Abraham is 100 years old. It is what it is. 100 years old. And he says, you're going to be a dad again. Now, if he was 60, 50, 40, got it. I got this guy. Just wait for this. I got this one, right? But he's 100 years old. Okay? So it was what it was when I was 40. But it ain't when I'm never mind. When I'm 100. And besides that, Sarah, I mean, she's old too. Y'all see this? It is what it is. Verse 20, it says, yet, he did not waver through unbelief regarding the promise of God, but he strengthened in his faith. That's what the Word of God says. That's what it says. Have you ever been to the gym? Some of y'all know. I've been to Jim's house, but I haven't been to the gym. It's amazing. You want to get stronger, right? I know most of us in this room, we want to get stronger in our faith. Don't we want to get stronger in your faith?
Yes.
You know, have y'all heard CrossFit? CrossFit, they throw tires and they do weird things, you know. I watch them on TV, and that's the closest I'm getting to CrossFit. Let me tell you, this is the authentic, original CrossFit. It's through Jesus Christ that we have this strength. Amen? That's pretty, that'll preach right there. That's getting sermon time. CrossFit. You know? We want to get stronger in our faith, and we can't do it on our own. We have to spend the Word of God and the promises of Him. And that's how we do this. And yet, in our life, we have these tests. And how are we doing? We're going to live in denial. So I just want to deal with that. I'm going to do the best I can. You know, trust God. We should. Maybe despair. Some of us here, some religions, I cannot handle this stuff. We're so despaired this morning. I'll give you some key things here on this text here. Build next week. When you're facing denial, look here. You can't get over what you don't know. Look up here. You can't get over what you don't know. You cannot get over what you don't know. Right? You just don't. Isn't it funny how God takes us in circles sometimes? You know? We just avoid it. Wait a minute, I was just here. Get right here. Remember the children in the wilderness? Y'all don't think that's true? Yeah, I had to do that again. Didn't we do this before 40 years ago? Yeah, we're not going to blow that one, but most of us, we just do it again and again. And that's called insanity. It's just a dog chasing its tail. Listen to church. This is the beginning of faith. You've got to be real here. You've got to be honest. Anybody want to be healed this morning? Anybody want to be strong in their faith this morning? Here it is. You can't get over it unless you own it. When we talk about despair, here's the test there. You will stay under if you don't get over it. You'll be oppressed. If you don't get over this, you know. Best counseling I give, Liz, is admit it, quit it, and forget it. That's the best I got for you. If you come for counseling, I'm probably going to say that. So that's all I got there. Admit it, quit it, forget it. Move on here. You've got to move on. And if you don't, listen, if you stay under this, whatever you're going through and whatever, let me tell you, it's going to remain in you. You're not going to get over it if you stay under it. That's the truth. Those are hard words, but it's the truth. And we see that in Abram's life. Look at the next sentence here. Faith. Faith can't fix what you don't face. Say that with you. Faith can't fix it. So let's face this thing, okay? It's not all good in life, is it? It looks good sometimes when you start off, but it doesn't work out that way sometimes. Man, there are people in this room right now. I wish everybody could know testimonies here. Well, now maybe we'll just have a testimony time and y'all we just share. Be really honest here. I tell you what, there's some crazy stories out there. People that had hard childhood lives and were abandoned when they were young and how they had to deal with that and they carried that with them. There's people in this church here. There's people in this church that have chosen different types of drugs and alcohol just to face their life and to try to heal some of the things and become addicted to those things. There's people here doing funerals today who's lost his son, 30-year-old plus son, He loses it in sleep, just doesn't wake up. So what am I going to do? Go to this funeral today and say, well, it is what it is? You think I'm going to do that? Absolutely. So I don't want y'all to go out of this room and say, well, it is what it is in my life. You can walk out of this life, you can live in denial, you're not going to face it, and I promise you're going to own it next week. And so that baggage that you have today, you're going to unpack it on Monday morning, you're just going to have to, there it is again, pack it back up and carry it around with you for the rest of your life until you take ownership of that. You understand that? You've got to face it. You've got to face it. It is what it is. But it's not what it feels like, not what it seems, and not what it looks like. Because God's promises says something different. What am I going to do? Again, Solomon. People here in this room have been rejected and hurt and disappointed in life. There are those in here. Some crazy testimonies here. And how do we as a church family get over it and get on with what God wants us to do? And that's what we're talking about this morning. So we look at Abraham against all hope. Remember when Abraham found out he was going to be a father, at a late age, he laughed at God. He laughed. Did God get mad at him and say, you ever do that again, son? See, God can handle it. You know why? That was a feeling. And faith is not a feeling. You can deal with it. And God can deal with your lack of faith. Because sometimes great men of faith that we just saw, they have weak moments, and it's okay. God can handle your questions in your house. You know that. So start asking Him. You can handle that. You've been doing that a lot lately. So this thing called denial. Let's throw that back up there, John. Yeah, check this out. It is what it is. So in denial, you've got to come to the point and say, it is what it is. But with despair, it's not what it feels like. It's not what it looks like. So let's go back to that illustration. You got tons of bills on there. You can deny it. You cannot answer the phone here. Or you can say, Lord, you know what? I'm responsible for those debts. Those are my debts, and I'm going to be responsible for that. I'm not going to live in denial anymore. I'm going to take ownership of those debts. I'm going to do the best I can. I'll go flip hamburgers or whatever you want me to do, but I'm going to take ownership of those debts. And I'm not going to wait for the lottery, because I don't even play the lottery, but I'm not going to wait for the lottery to do that. But I'm taking ownership, and I'm going to do everything I can do to correct that. That's how you handle it. What about friends? Use that illustration. You don't have friends in your life. You say, well, God's taking through an isolated, lonely time. Hogwash. You're probably not fun to be around. You have some relationship problems and difficulties that you need to work on. Why not be friendly? What, you know? And rather than just isolating yourself, so, well, nobody likes me, and like my grandmother said, I'm going to go eat a can of worms. Don't start doing that. Take ownership of that. Maybe I'm not a likable person. Maybe my personality needs to be adjusted here. Maybe I have poor relationship skills, and I just don't like people. Not because God's taking through that a long time. Isolated time. So what do? Monday morning, I'm going to speak to 5 people. I'm going to find out their names. I'm going to smile at them. I'm going to love them. I'm going to do kindness to people. I'm going to treat them right. I'm going to just really tell somebody, a stranger, boy, you look good today. I hope you have a good day. Stuff like that. I'm going to go mow the pastor's yard. I just threw that in. But anyway, that's not in my notes. Are y'all hearing this? Abraham, check this out. Abraham, just like you, just like me, he stands in the middle of denial and despair. He makes a decision, not by feelings, but by what, church? He does. And all of us, we're kind of right in the middle of this thing called life, and denial, and being desperate, and all this, and we're standing right in the middle, and you got to make a decision. And what are you going to do? You're going to live it by feelings, Moses, or are you going to make it by faith? And what happened to Abraham? What's this? Let me tell you a spiritual principle here that sometimes we don't see. Because that's where faith comes in. It's that substance of those things hope for and evidence we just don't see. Here's what Abraham did. When he decided, he stood in the middle of this, I'm too old for this. My wife's too old for this. That hadn't happened in a long time. The and God, you're saying this, I'm going to trust you at your word. In the middle of this, he makes a decision by faith, and what happens? God fulfills his promises, right? God fulfills his promises. And out of that comes a seed through Abraham to this generation of generation of generation of generation. And even Jesus is called the seed of Abraham. His lineage. And then, check this out. And let me read this. Look at, I don't think I have this Romans. Do I have the Romans? Yeah, check this out. I did. Notice that here's what happens. And here's what happens to us. When we, listen, look at this right here. Look at the eyes right here. Here's what happens. When we decide to trust God and believe God and the promises of him, do you know the effects have longevity to them? Do y'all understand that? Way beyond you'll ever see. Right? Let me say it real slow for a second, okay? When you make a faith statement upon the promises of God, do you know there's a rippling effect that you may never see, that you may influence somebody? Y'all know that? See, by faith, we said, let's enlarge this building here. Y'all weren't here. We just believed God was going to add to this church. And guess what? Look at y'all. You know, we couldn't send everybody that was here because I was preaching right here. You know, I don't know where y'all been, but anyway, we started with 13 people. That was on a good Sunday here. We just believed God would add to this church if we increased the building for people. Y'all see what I'm saying here? And so we didn't know. We didn't know y'all would be here. Some of you we knew, we wouldn't have done. No, I'm just kidding. But we on faith, we did this. We just built some buildings back here. We're going to fill them up with kids. Did you see them last Sunday? I've heard of them. Don't you see this? We never know. And Abraham, he goes, have a kid? Okay, I'm in. I'm going to trust you, God. And then we see the ripple effect. Let's hear it. It was not through the law, in other words, just law, you know, do this, this, and this. And his offspring received the promises that he would be heir to the world. But through the righteousness that comes by faith, therefore the promises come by faith, so that it may be grace and may be guaranteed unto all Abraham's offspring, and that's you. Not only to those who are of the law, but also to those who have faith in Abraham. He is the father of what? Galatians chapter 3, verse 29 says that if you belong to Christ, you are the seed of Abraham. And you are heirs unto the promise. And that promise is Jesus Christ. Y'all get that? You're seed. You're the seed. If you're in Christ Jesus, you are the seed of Abraham. So I want to come into this. I've got so much to say, but I need to end this. Something that's seed. Seed. Seed of Abraham. I didn't get anything from that. Seed of Abraham. What? Seed of Abraham. And then I start reading about some of the things that Jesus said about seed and stuff. You remember? Let me just show you one. Yeah. Remember Jesus talking here? He said, what shall we say? The kingdom of God is like what? Like a parable. He uses to describe it. The kingdom of God is like a what? Say it. A mustard seed. And what is a mustard? It's the smallest seed on the earth. And yet when what? Say that. Say that again. One more time. When buried in dirt, when hidden from light, you thought it was safe to come out of your shell, have a life, buried under the surface. Y'all getting this? Y'all getting this?
Yes.
Yet when it's planted, it grows and becomes a large ball. Such big branches that the birds purchase. From the seed, check this. There's seed. Look at these seeds. See the seeds? I mean, there's something kind of neat about these two. That's another sermon, but I kind of got carried away before yesterday reading about, you know, mushroom seeds. You know, you can run over this thing in a car, and you can hit it with a hammer, and you don't destroy that. And such is the kingdom of God. Bible says the gates of hell will not prevail against the kingdom of God. Amen. You know what? And then he says here, if you have faith, seed of a what? By the way, that's not the size. It's not talking about the size at all. It's talking about the hardship that you go through in life. That's my opinion here. And if you have a different opinion, you're wrong. But anyway, it's talking about the seeds here. It's not about the size of your faith, I don't think. It's really talking about just the strength of this. But when it is planted, what? There it is. See, our faith is to be planted. It's to grow. It's to be mature. It's to develop. And the only way that it develops, I promise you this, is through hardship and tough times where you've got to stand in between denial and despair and make a decision by faith based on the Word of God. That's how you grow, because you're buried in this life. You understand that? These little seeds here. Anybody says it's planted, it comes up. Let me show you some more seeds here. Y'all can't see this, can you? Let me show you a mustard seed. Let me show you that. You know, how many of y'all told Jill thanks because he gets my notes? They're all scribbled. They're the biggest mess you'll ever see. And he has to translate all these and put them up here. So I'm telling thank you so much. And so I sent him a note. I said, show me, because y'all can't see. And so, just roll right off or something. Can we edit this for you? So, Joe, show me a mustard seed so y'all can see this. So, wait a minute. Mustard seed. Who set you up? That is a mustard seed. It's a mustard seed. It's a mustard seed that's been born. What's it? No, don't answer this question. It's a mustard seed that has gone through the process. One more time. It is a mustard seed that has gone through what? Process. Who likes process? It's a mustard seed that's been buried, stayed underground, a little sprout here and there. Then it becomes what? And that's who God looks at you and says to you are. You're that seed. You're Abraham's seed planted and grow. And it's gone through the process. And we don't like the process. We scream at God, get me out of this process. It's killing me. I don't sleep at night. I hurt. I hate this process. Right? Right? I don't like that process. Look what the process is. We like tree stuff, don't we? Process. Abraham. Why is Abraham a man of faith? Through the process. 100-year-old. Never done this before. But he says it is what it is. My body, I don't see this happening. It is what it is, but it's not what it looks like. It's not what it feels like. Because God, you gave me a promise, and you said you would give me and Sarah a son. Here's what Abraham does. Watch this. He sees the hope of the world and the promise of God that they will see. And you're here today because of it. Is that incredible? So I don't know what's going on in your life. I promise you this. It is what it is, but it's not what it seems to be. It feels to be. Looks. It hurts. God, don't you think God's got something really big in your life? He's always at work in your life. I tell you that all the time. God's always at work in your life. The question is, do you want to work with God or work against God? God's always at work in your life. He's seeding that in you, but He's also maturing you to be what? Mature. That's what God wants. So see, today, if you're a follower of Jesus Christ and you're living in disappointment and hurt and fear, doubt, rejection, He says this. God says, I'll never leave you nor forsake you. Some of you feel this morning you're just walking in fear. You run from things. I'm going to go back to my old lifestyle, my old way of living. I'm just going to run out of this because, man, this is scary stuff and it's hard stuff. And you run and the Lord says these words that I will strengthen you when you're weak, when you're afraid, If you're fearful, don't run back to, but run to me. That's the promises of God, isn't it? It says, I can do all things through Christ who what? Yeah, CrossFit me, who strengthens me. Some of you may have some rejection this morning, maybe from the past, way in the past, way back there. And you carry that baggage every place you go, you seem to do that. Every relationship you go to, you just kind of carry that baggage. Let me tell you, you don't have to do that anymore. It says that there's not a spirit of condemnation from Christ, but there's a spirit of restoration and healing that you can receive. But you've got to be honest with yourself. It is what it is. Lord, your word says that there's something greater in me that's working, that you can take that is stuff and that hurt stuff and develop it into something. So don't live, I'm about done. Don't live in denial or despair. It is what it is, which not what's things. And don't let the mass of the size of the circumstances in your life overshadow the seed, that small seed God's put in you. Because here's what happens. You will be planted by a river. And you will flourish by that river. And I will nurture that seed in you. And you will grow. And you'll be like a tree that's planted by the river. And your leaves won't wither in times of drought times. It will not wither. And your branches will not fall off because I'm nurturing you this. And your fruit is going to be fruitful because I'm nurturing this. You're going to grow up to be a tree. And everything you do will prosper because you are my seed that's planted in you. You're going to be a tree. You're a tree. You're a tree. Amen? Amen. I'm done. Well, I'm going to finish the rest of it. There's no way. I got to be on the road a little while anyway. So God bless you guys. Thank you for your love and just kind of want to leave you. It's not only living, it's family time. But nobody will eat food, so we're going to I miss potluck. It's hard to do sometimes. Much like in your person. I want you to look at it. Look at the person there and say, it is what it is. It is what it is. But, say but. Not what it seems to be. Father, we love you. What a blessing it is. God, thank you for your word today. Thank you for your mighty word.
Yes.
Thank you so much that you're planting this seed. And I pray that the soil has been good today, that the soil has been received today, and that those that have received this seed of the Word of God will just begin to nurture that to the Spirit of God. Or there are those that feel like their seed has been trampled on and squashed and mashed. Lord, I pray that you'll rise up faith. It's faith. It's Monday morning, we're going to have to face some things. It's not gone away, but we're Monday. But we feel encouraged that we can face the promises and trust in you. So Lord, we're going to deal with these things. We're going to look at the eye. We're going to say, it is what it is, but it's not what I feel like. So I'm not going to operate on my feelings. I'm going to operate on faith from this day on, because that's what my preacher said, and that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to stand on it, even though I don't feel like it, even though it doesn't look that way. I'm going to trust you, because I can't please you without faith. I came into this relationship with faith, and I'm going to end it with faith. So Lord, rise the spirit of faith in this fellowship today. We will not back off. We will not back down from the promises of God. Speak to us, Lord. Lord, we love you, and I thank you in Jesus' name. Thank you for those that are visiting for the first time. Lord, I pray we didn't run them off today, but that they'll come back. And I thank you for those that are just have been in our church. Lord, I thank you for the family of God coming together. It's so good being in your house today, Lord. We rejoice and we thank you for that. We praise you in this time of communion. In Jesus' name we all pray. Amen.